us now to talk more about the ramifications of a shutdown of Al Jazeera and Al Arabiya in Baghdad is Baria Alamuddin. She's the foreign editor for the London-based Arabic language newspaper Al Hayat. So where does this leave a free press?
Well, you see, there is this great debate. If I may first say that Al Arabiya and Al Jazeera have been informed and the work of their correspondents have been suspended for 2 weeks, and basically they are not allowed to cover the work of the council and not to enter ministries. But otherwise, they are still there and they still cover all other events. Well, as I just started to say, there is this great debate. Where is the press freedom and where does leave this freedom that we've been talking about, and indeed the governing council people have been talking about? And some people are saying, do we have a new sahaf? Do we have a new regime whereby the freedom of the press is curtailed? I think there must be a very happy media there, and in the sense that yes, you do need a free press, you do need to report what is happening on the ground, you need to report events. But of course there's a difference between reporting and inciting, and I think maybe all media outlets should look and see where they draw the line there.
With it being a US appointed governing council actually saying this, where does that leave? How is that interpreted in the Arab world?
Well, of course, it doesn't give it great credibility. If this council was elected democratically, if it was elected by the people, it would have been looked at it in a different way. People would have looked at it in a different way. But you see, these people most of them have lived abroad, most of them are well-educated people, so one would expect for them to leave a leeway, to leave freedom for the press. But don't forget, there is this problem between stations like Al Jazeera and in a way now Al Arabiya, and between the American administration at large, because we've heard many members of the American administration criticize these two stations specifically. Hence, maybe the credibility of the council here is questioned by many Arabs, meaning are these being the voice of the American administration? But nevertheless, I suppose as a press woman, I think it is very, very important for us as press people in this very, very specific time, very critical time for Iraq, that we watch what we say, we monitor what we say, because we don't want to be seen as inciting violence, as indeed being the voice of Saddam Hussein or anybody else like that. So there is a line to be drawn here.
And you're based there in London, watching from afar, if you like. Is there a feeling from your colleagues and indeed yourself that Al Jazeera and Al Arabiya are actually inciting, or are they simply reporting what they see as the news of the day?
Well, you see, again, we come back to this debate. Yeah, we do debate this among our colleagues a lot. And some think that, no, they have crossed the line, that by repeating the messages of Saddam Hussein, they are not simply saying the message, they are not simply reporting, but they are inciting. Other people think, no, this is the freedom of the press, it is our job to report, and if indeed we don't report, then somebody else is going to report. So let us be the ones to do it. There is some sort of a war, if you like, who's going to get the message first. Plus, some people also are saying, if Al Jazeera or Al Arabiya or Al Hayat indeed don't report, there are many, many press outlets and media outlets inside Iraq that are reporting all sorts of things. And if I may say something here, which you have asked me about before, when it comes to the governing council, people will question if they have indeed taken something more severe, like closing the bureau of Al Jazeera and Arabiya. Wouldn't they have to ask Mr. Brimmer? And what would have Mr. Brimmer have to say? If he says, yes, you should close these bureaus, then he would be seen anti-democratic, which indeed is what the American administration is calling for, democracy in the area. And if indeed he says, don't close it, then it means, you know, he is like going against the council, and it means the council have no say. It's a very, very critical debate. It's a very delicate situation, as you can see. So maybe I think the decision today of the council was, they didn't have to go to Mr. Brimmer. They just issued this, and indeed they can do that. and it's not seen as a drastic measure.
All right. Baria Alamuddin, thanks for talking with us.